It is estimated that 10% of our population suffers from these psychopathic delusions. Though while not all are dangerous like the narcissist, 1% of the population does have aggressive narcissistic or psychopathic behavior. So how do we deal with them? The biggest handicap we have in this fight is that most people feel that they are good and that they transfer their goodness onto others. Just because you would never do evil things does not mean others will not. The combination of an elite that has this psychopathic view of the world and the masses that are assuming that their leaders are good just like them is a deadly combination. Most people cannot bring themselves to believe that people like this exist. But if people become educated about psychopaths and then ask them to look at the people in their lives that are causing them trouble, it is not too long until you get the ah. The other problem we have when facing this evil is that they fear the psychopath. They use cognitive dissonance or doublethink to soothe their mind. They feel it is better to go along than it is to stand up to the psychopath. Once you are aware, identifying them is the next step. Doing background checks or talking with friends and family is very important. Most psychopaths do not have friends or family as they tend to burn through them first before moving on to others. They are often impatient as they try to hold their facade together. Once a psychopath is identified, there are only two options. The first one is attack. They fear the bigger psychopath, but exposure is their biggest fear. Direct confrontation hardly ever works because they lie so much and you need a massive amount of support to effectively fight one. The key is never to attack an enemy where they have no escape because they will fight the hardest, and often the threat of exposure is the best tactic. The only other option you have to confrontation is evade. You cannot heal them because they get off on the fighting. The best option is to completely cut that person off and shun them. Take a look at all the people you have had trouble with in your life, and then compare them to the 14 characteristics of a psychopath. I did that with some of the closest people in my life, and I took extraordinary efforts to protect myself and my family from them. The sad thing is that these people will never seek help because they think that they're superior to others, never seeing the faults that they have. I've also had people who have come to me and said that they have some of these characteristics. If you have these characteristics, this does not mean that you are a monster. You were just probably hurt in the past. The key is that you address your hurt in the past with therapy and not drugs. Drugs only help you avoid the pain and never confront it. Understanding why you act the way you do will give you knowledge to take corrective action to not act that way in the future. Regardless of what happened to you in the past, make a commitment that it stops with you so that it is not passed on and hurt others. What should you do if you are in a negative environment? We are social creatures and we absorb people's emotions. Some do it more than others. These people tend to suffer from chronic anxiety, depression, or stress, and can mentally and physically wear you down. When you are worn down, you become hypersensitive. If left untreated, you can turn into what you once hated. So what should you do? Identify whether you're susceptible. The person most susceptible to negative environments are highly empathetic people. You might be naturally giving, generous, spiritually inclined, and a good listener. You sense fear and anxiety and stress from other people much more than anybody else. You rely on your gut far more than your mind. The second thing is, seek the source. Is the negative emotion yours, or are you absorbing somebody else's? If it is someone else's negative energy, you need to physically remove yourself from the situation. By doing this, you are limiting the amount of contact you have with that stressor. If possible, surround yourself with happy people. Center yourself by concentrating on your breath. Breathing exercises help center yourself in the present. So much of the anxiety we feel is generated by our mind thinking about painful experiences in the past or worrying about the future. Staying in the present where it is safe allows the body to calm itself. Think happy thoughts. While you are breathing, force your mind onto happy thoughts and comforting thoughts. Force a smile. Your mind is so powerful, you need to focus it in the right direction. Manage emotional overload. You then need to manage what you are around. Learn to recognize people that bring you down. Identify unemotional psychopaths that are in your life. The best case scenario is to shun them at all costs. If it is not possible, confront them publicly about their negative behavior and that you find it unacceptable. Get plenty of rest, eat a high-protein diet before entering stressful situations, such as being part of a crowd. You need to train for a mental fight like a boxer. Have a backup plan to get out of a bad situation without relying on others. When people feel trapped, that's when anxiety builds. Set a time limit for how much you're going to expose yourself to the toxicity. For example, if you're visiting people you don't like, make plans to get out of there ahead of time. Have a place to re-energize in private. Look for positive people and positive situations. Eliminate negative people from your life and embrace the positive people. Life is too short to be dealing with these negative people. Bring out the best in others and they will do the same for you. The best thing about fighting this evil is that we don't have to confront it, we merely need to expose it. There is no need of fighting to overcome this single tyrant. He is automatically defeated if the country refuses to consent to its own enslavement. The real challenge is to show people that the good that they think they are doing is actually evil. We never see the process of evil, the diluted path that allows people to build a bubble in their head to think that what they are doing is good. By pointing out psychopaths as they are, it takes away the glow that our society puts on them. They should not be allowed in your own personal life. They should be shunned at work for their psychopathic deeds, and they should not be idolized in the media, finances, and politics.
Is it fun being a billionaire?
Well, yes. yes. I have to say it is fun being a billionaire, but it's hard work. But it's hard work.
This will come naturally when the full consequences of the psychopathic elite's actions come to light when the dollar collapses and the world economy crashes. A spiritual awakening will coincide with a new political and economic paradigm that will be decentralized. In a decentralized environment, people will need to have a good reputation in order for others to work with them.